Anger in young children is more common than you might think, and it's not just a phase. In fact, studies show that over 50% of children aged 3 to 5 experience frequent emotional outbursts, with anger being one of the most common triggers. But what if I told you that anger, if not handled correctly, can have lasting effects on their development, happiness, and even their relationships? Shocking, right? Here's the truth: how a child's anger is managed now shapes their emotional future. If anger is left unchecked, it can create challenges in their school life, friendships, and overall emotional well-being. But don't worry, there's hope. Understanding the impact of anger on young children is the first step toward turning those challenging moments into opportunities for growth. In this video, we'll explore how to decode a child's anger, why it's important to react with patience and love, and how we can transform this emotional struggle into a powerful tool for growth. By the end, you'll have practical, research-backed strategies to help your child manage anger in a healthy way and build a foundation for happiness. Stick with me, this journey will surprise you and change the way you see your child's emotions. Chapter 1: Tiny Hearts, Big Emotions. Understanding anger in children. Anger can hit young children in ways we might not always understand. At their core, these little ones aren't trying to be defiant, instead, they're struggling with overwhelming emotions they can't quite put into words. According to Dr. John Gottman, a leading psychologist on emotional development, kids often express frustration because they lack the skills to manage big feelings. In fact, about 25% of children under 5 have trouble dealing with anger, showing us how essential it is to address this issue early. It's vital to recognize that anger in children can stem from various triggers. Something as simple as not being able to open a toy or feeling left out can set off a meltdown. These moments are not just about the situation, they're about a lack of emotional tools. Research from the American Academy of Pediatrics suggests that children's emotional development is directly tied to how parents handle those moments of anger. So, how do we help? One of the most effective strategies is validation. When a child feels heard, it calms them down. Instead of dismissing their anger with phrases like "don't be angry," try "I see you're upset. Let's talk about it." This helps them feel understood and can lower the emotional temperature quickly. As Dr. Daniel Siegel, a well-known author in the parenting space, points out, when we validate a child's feelings, we give them a sense of control and emotional security. Chapter 2: Anger versus Happiness, Can They Coexist? We all want our children to be happy, but how does anger fit into that picture? Interestingly, anger and happiness are not opposites. Anger can be a secondary emotion, often masking sadness, fear, or even frustration. When anger is left unaddressed, it can easily block a child from experiencing true joy. A study published in the Journal of Child Psychology and Psychiatry found that children who struggle with unresolved anger are less likely to show emotional resilience, which is key to happiness later in life. A powerful tool for addressing this dynamic is teaching children how to manage their anger in healthy ways. When anger is allowed to exist alongside other emotions, it can be a source of personal growth. For example, teaching kids to take a pause when they feel angry helps them regulate their emotions, preventing a negative spiral. A great strategy is the take a deep breath technique. Encourage your child to stop, breathe deeply, and count to 5 before reacting. This simple act can reset their emotional state. Dr. Laura Markham, author of Peaceful Parent, Happy Kids, emphasizes that children are more likely to express happiness when they feel calm and in control of their emotions. In her words, emotional regulation is the key to building a happy life. It's not about ignoring anger but guiding children through it with compassion and patience, turning anger into an opportunity for emotional growth. Chapter 3: The Ripple Effect, How Your Child's Anger Shapes Relationships. A child's anger doesn't only affect them, it ripples through their relationships. If a child constantly lashes out, it can put a strain on family dynamics and friendships. According to a study by the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development, children who express frequent anger are more likely to face difficulties in school and with peers. Their frustration may come out in the form of aggression or withdrawal, making it harder for them to connect with others. So, how do we break this cycle? One solution is to teach children empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, and it's crucial for managing anger in social situations. Start by modeling empathy yourself. When your child expresses frustration, acknowledge not only their feelings but the impact of those feelings on others. Saying, "I understand you're upset, but it's important to speak kindly to your friend," helps them connect their emotions with the reactions they receive from others. Another strategy to address anger's ripple effect is to create a predictable routine. Young children thrive on structure. When they know what to expect next, there's less room for anxiety and, consequently, less chance for anger to bubble over. In fact, research from the National Association for the Education of Young Children, NAEC, shows that consistency in routines can reduce anxiety-driven anger by up to 40%. At the same time, setting clear boundaries is key. It's important for children to understand that while anger is a normal emotion, there are respectful ways to express it. The most effective way to teach boundaries is through consistency and reinforcement. For example, "It's okay to be mad, but it's not okay to hit," is a simple but powerful phrase that teaches both emotional awareness and respect. If you're finding this information helpful, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for more parenting tips and strategies. You won't want to miss the next chapters. Chapter 4, Anger's Hidden Language, Communicating with your child beyond words. When a child gets angry, their body speaks louder than their words. The clenched fists, the red face, or the stomping feet are often more revealing than anything they could say. Children under the age of 6 don't always have the vocabulary to express their emotions, so they rely on their bodies to communicate. Dr. John Gottman, in his book Raising an Emotionally Intelligent Child, notes that nonverbal cues are an essential part of emotional communication. One of the most effective strategies for addressing this is to mirror their emotions. When a child is upset, reflect back what you see. For example, "I can see you're feeling really frustrated right now." This helps the child identify their emotions and realize that it's okay to feel angry. This kind of emotional labeling, according to research from the University of California, Berkeley, helps children become more self-aware and less reactive. Another technique is active listening. This means giving your full attention to the child, not interrupting, and responding empathetically. Studies show that children who feel genuinely listened to are 50% more likely to resolve conflicts calmly. Active listening helps them feel heard, which, in turn, allows them to manage their emotions better. When parents also acknowledge their own emotions, it builds a stronger connection with the child. For example, saying "I understand why you're upset, I feel frustrated too sometimes," helps the child feel less isolated. As Dr. Daniel Siegel says, when children see their parents as emotional equals, they learn to handle their feelings with confidence. Chapter 5, Healing Anger with Love, Building Emotional Intelligence. Anger doesn't have to be destructive. In fact, if managed well, it can become a powerful tool for emotional growth. Building emotional intelligence, in children is one of the most effective ways to help them manage anger. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and control one's emotions. Research from the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, CASEL, shows that children with higher A are less likely to experience emotional outbursts and are more successful in managing social relationships. A key strategy to foster A is teaching children to name their feelings. For example, instead of just saying "I'm angry," teach them to express what's going on underneath that feeling. Are they frustrated? Are they feeling left out? By breaking down their emotions into smaller, manageable pieces, children can learn to recognize the root causes of their anger and address them in healthier ways. Another important strategy is teaching self-regulation techniques. This includes teaching your child to pause and take deep breaths when they start feeling overwhelmed. The 5-finger breathing technique is a fun way to teach this to young children. They trace their fingers with one hand while breathing in and out with each finger. This simple activity helps calm the mind and body, reducing the intensity of anger. According to a study in the Journal of Applied Developmental Psychology, children who practice self-regulation techniques like deep breathing are 30% less likely to react impulsively when angry. Dr. Laura Markham, in her book Peaceful Parent, Happy Kids, emphasizes that love and empathy are key to emotional regulation. She states, "When we guide children with love and patience, they learn to handle anger in a healthy way. By focusing on emotional growth through love, we help children not only manage anger but also build resilience for the future. Chapter 6: From Chaos to Calm, Transforming Anger into Emotional Growth. Anger, when understood and managed, can be a powerful vehicle for personal growth. Instead of suppressing or avoiding anger, we can teach children to use it as an opportunity to develop emotional skills. According to Dr. Gottman, children with emotional awareness are 40% more likely to cope with challenges in positive ways later in life. One strategy to help children transform anger into growth is using time-ins instead of traditional timeouts. A timeout can feel isolating for a child and may reinforce negative feelings. Instead, a time-in involves sitting down with your child in a calm space and discussing their feelings. It allows them to reflect on their emotions while still feeling supported. This approach encourages self-awareness and gives children the tools they need to manage their feelings in real time. Another technique is to focus on problem solving. Teach your child that anger is often a signal that something isn't right. Work with them to brainstorm solutions. For example, if they're angry because they can't play with a toy, help them come up with an alternative. This not only helps manage their anger but also teaches them to think critically and creatively about problems. According to a study in developmental psychology, children who practice problem solving are 50% more likely to develop emotional resilience. Lastly, it's important to model the behavior you want to see in your child. Children learn by example. If they see you managing your own anger with patience and calm, they are more likely to imitate those behaviors. This is especially true when parents express their own emotions in a healthy way. As Dr. Daniel Siegel says, children's minds are shaped by the emotional environment in which they grow up. Creating a calm, nurturing environment helps children process their own emotions with greater ease. By turning anger into an opportunity for emotional growth, we not only help children manage their feelings more effectively but also build a foundation for happiness and emotional well-being. When children learn to transform their emotions in a positive way, they gain the emotional resilience they need to face life's challenges. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more tips to nurture your child's emotional health.